Yes, Ed turned out to not be gracious. He did some very bad things, and then when he did some very bad things, it meant that Discovery Channel used to work with us.
No one foresaw this. One minute he was rolling a battered Porsche into the workshop, sleeves rolled up and grin wide, ready to demonstrate to the world how real repairs are done. The following, Ed China was nowhere to be found. No goodbye on television, no final laugh with Mike, but rather a swift quiet that left millions of viewers staring at their televisions asking themselves what pulled the monarch of large orange gloves out of wheeler dealers. But what actually transpired when the cameras turned off? Some attribute a drop budget that chopped off the soul of the show. Others whisper about a showdown so tense you could hear wrenches drop. In the next few minutes, we'll crack open the rumors, sift the facts, and piece together the truth. Stick around because one small overlooked detail might swing those workshop doors open again. It was 2003, way before the web was dominated by YouTube how-to videos, when two Brits, wildly different from each other, stood in front of one camera and revolutionized car TV forever. Mike Brewer was the natural hustler, half auctioneer, half stand-up comedian, searching out beat-up deals in dingy back alley car lots. Ed China loomed over him, all placid interest and bright orange gloves, poised to transform those wrecks into Rodu-worthy jewels. What made the viewer lean in wasn't the before and after reveal. It was how Ed slowed time down. He unscrewed wheels, designated bolts, and guided you through every twist of the spanner in words a kid could replicate on the driveway. As Mike tallied costs and joked about profit, Ed taught an entire generation that a seized brake caliper or blown head gasket wasn't a death warrant. It was a weekend experience. The combination was charged. Viewer mail flooded in from Bahrain to Brazil. Every letter pleading for more lengthy fixes and more in-depth dives. By season 5, the program was on the air in over 100 nations. By the 9th, they had shipped the entire crew off to sun-kissed California in pursuit of fresh metal and a behemoth U.S. following. Overnight, the boys were fitting Ford Mustangs, DeLoreans, even vintage Camaros into their burgeoning stable, all while coping with tighter shooting schedules and sponsorship deals that introduced contract fine print they'd never encountered before. For a time, everything they touched seemed radiant. But as the circus expanded, the more difficult it was to make each plate spin. And concealed behind those broad workshop doors, the initial hairline fractures were beginning to appear. When the team relocated to California, everything expanded. The workshop, the bills, and the stakes. The new network, Velocity, needed quicker episodes, more shows in shorter time. Cameras rolled before dawn. Cars needed to be sold by nightfall. And the only thing flying faster than the builds was the pile of takeout containers near the door. At first, it seemed like a fantasy. The shop was enormous, lifts were new, and muscle cars reclined in every corner of the building. There were tool chests taller than many people, and a parts budget that seemed limitless. But the fantasy had rules. Producers walked the set with script pages and stopwatches. A 10-minute screen break job was now a 30-second flash. A complete engine Tyrone was now 5 fast shots and some voiceover. Ed experienced it first. He had enjoyed teaching. Each cut was like tearing out pages from his book. He requested, pleaded for more repair time. Mike attempted to appease both sides. He welcomed sponsors with handshakes, then visited Ed, but the gap continued to widen. They still smiled into camera lenses. Off camera, though, the smiles thinned. The fans picked up on it. The internet boards flashed. Why the hurry? Where's the attention to detail? Viewers in Brazil and Birmingham felt shortchanged by missing steps that allowed them to repair along at home. The ratings remained firm, but the essence of the show was slipping. Most evenings, Ed lingered late. He took additional close-ups and hoped for the editor to include them. Most did not make it through. He saw entire lessons get cut to the cutting room floor. Pressure mounted like the steam on a whistling kettle. Everyone knew it would burst at any time. Then in March 2017, Ed hit upload on a 6-minute video that rocked the entire workshop. It crashed YouTube like a dropped wrench. March 21st, 2017, and a 6-minute video went up on Ed China's account named I'm Leaving Wheeler Dealers. No joke, No clickbait, just Ed in his orange gloves, sitting at an ordinary desk, staring at the lens. He spoke slowly, each word distinct. The new bosses, he explained, wanted to cut the repair scene short. They referred to it as efficiency. Ed's response was straightforward. A car show without actual repairs isn't really a car show. So, he decided to walk. He thanked the fans, complimented Mike, and even wished the network luck. But in between the gracious words, you sensed the burn when he said, "It's not the direction I can support." Fans heard a louder message. The core of the show was being cut down for speed. In an hour, the comments erupted. Stocks soared on forums, Facebook communities, and car sites. By lunchtime, the article was posted on auto news websites. For dinner, it trended on Twitter. People cut quotes out, circled screenshots, and hunted for secret messages. Some applauded Ed for upholding his art. Others wondered why Mike hadn't battled more. The view counter whirled like a tack needle. 1,000,025. Reporters phoned Ed and Mike for quotes. The network released a brief statement. The show is still going strong. It sounded weak. Ed's clip closed with a forced smile. "Keep making, keep fixing, and I'll see you soon," he said to the camera. He waved goodbye. The screen went black, and the internet filled the silence with theories. Fans felt they knew the truth now, but shock was only the beginning. Next was the storm, and it would break over Mike Brewer first. The backlash hit Mike Brewer like a brick through a windscreen. Within hours of Ed's video, furious posts mounted on every platform. Some fans called Brewer a sellout for allowing the show abandon its soul. Others launched an even more bitter barrage, dark menaces that had no connection to rusty engines or leaking gaskets. Mike attempted to soothe the situation, writing that he loved Ed like a brother, and pleaded with the network to leave in the lengthy repair scenes. That didn't work. The flood continued to rise. The rage soon spilled into everyday life. Mike's email was clogged with hate mail. One informed him that someone would come to his home. Another pulled his teenage daughter into the fray. Shaken, Mike called the police, who started a file and advised him to watch his back. He went on afterwards to say that the pressure had almost destroyed him. Even Ed intervened, posting that no one should have threatened Mike and asking people to chill out. But online, a spark can ignite a wildfire. And this one was raging. Sponsors took fright. A tire company pulled a scheduled ad spot. The network released a more detailed press release stating wheeler dealers would change, but remain faithful to its heritage. They introduced a new mechanic, Ant Anstead, as witty with cheeky charm and quick builds. There were some fans cheering, excited to see new blood. Others bellowed, "Repaceable," and vowed they were finished with the show for good. Still, even amidst the din, fans had a bet on the sidelines that the two would work things out. For the time being, however, the breakup seemed absolute. And as Mike prepared for his first episode with Ed not by his side, newcomer Ant was about to discover the razor's edge of the spotlight. Once the dust settled, the cameras continued rolling, just with a fresh face on the equipment. Ant Anstead, a retired police officer turned car constructor, walked into the shop sporting a smile nearly as broad as Ed's reach. He was quick-witted with a joke, and even quicker with an impact wrench. The network hoped his enthusiasm would reclaim hearts. The first with Ant premiered on a sunny blue Mustang. He cracked it open, replaced a gearbox in record time, and sprayed paint in cake icing fashion. Fans who loved pure action adored it. But the old guard, fans who took notes, paused and scowled. "Where's the slow walk through?" they complained in comments. "How'd he set up that clutch?" Step-by-step instruction remained cut back, and no new magic could disguise the skipped pages. Ant attempted to fill in the gaps. On breaks, he shot additional side footage, dissecting difficult tasks, then struggled to get them online. A few found their way onto YouTube. Most remained on a hard drive. Ratings remained consistent, but the fan base divided by two. The satisfied with quick thrills, and those of us still feeling the pulse of the show had skipped. Mike attempted to guide the new pair. He hyped Ant's abilities, taunted larger builds, and promised more depth on the next go-around. However, all the social posts contained the same specter: bring back Ed. Ant quipped he was the most hated and loved TV mechanic. Behind camera, the stress rested like a V8 block on a folding workbench. But cars rolled in and cars rolled out. A 240Z, a dirty Ferrari, even a Humvee military vehicle, all flipped for profit on television. The figures showed the show could last. But could it ever be the same again? As Brewer and Anstead pursued the next deal, Ed faded from view and into a secluded workshop at the outskirts of the English countryside. The tall man in orange gloves remained largely silent for 4 years, appearing only at auto shows and charity races. Fans persisted in asking, where did he go? In 2021, they finally received their answer. A new YouTube series, Ed China's Workshop Diaries. The first one came out on a Friday night. No graphics, no TV listings, just Ed, a whistling kettle in the background, and a knackered Range Rover awaiting rescue. He welcomed viewers as old acquaintances, rolled his sleeves up, and got stuck in. No hasty montages there. Each bolt was removed in slow motion. Each worn seal received a clean close-up. Ed even stopped to make simple sketches on a whiteboard when a job required further explaining.